Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, you'll never guess who just declared that they're running for president.
Also, what is your Jericho?
All that and more on the way next. Welcome to RadioU's birthday weekend.
Yeah.
Allie, where's the cake?
You know what? I don't have a cake, and part of the reason is because I don't actually like cake.
I know. It makes it hard to celebrate a birthday.
Yeah.
When you don't like cake.
I usually go for brownies.
Brownies over cake?
Yep.
It depends on the brownies.
I do like the Ghirardelli ones.
Mm-hmm.
So they have like the chocolate chips in the brownies.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I feel like the best brownies and cake is like hot dogs and burgers to me. The best burger is way better than the best hot dog. The best brownie is way better than the best cake.
Absolutely.
But the worst brownie is way worse than the worst cake.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I'm sure for you that's fine, but for me, I'm like...
You ever get those, like you go out, it's a potluck or something, and there's a pan of brownies, and you take it, it's like, ooh, brownies, and then it's a dry, crusty, horrible, it's like you're eating cardboard, basically. It has no moisture to it at all.
But there's some really bad cake out there.
I don't think I've had a cake that I was like, I mean, sometimes there's too much icing.
Absolutely. Icing is a big issue for me.
Yeah, too much icing is a no-go. Like, it just can be, but then you just scrape that off. But like the cake itself, I don't think I've had a cake where I'm like spitting it out. And I've had brownies where I would spit them out.
Well, I will say growing up overseas, cake is made a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. And it usually is very, very dry compared to here in the United States.
Yeah.
And so I grew up, and I think this is the reason why I don't like cake now. Mm-hmm. Even though cake probably is much better here, I grew up with cake that was really dry. And so I just was like, nope, no cake for me. Don't like it. But I also know plenty of people here in the U.S. that don't like cake.
Yeah, no, I do as well.
Yeah.
People just don't prefer it. And I mean, I do think that like the standard regular birthday cake, there are many better desserts than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess maybe that's just like, well, it's affordable and it's pretty good. And then you put it with like ice cream and then it's even better. But also brownies are even better with ice cream, especially
hot brownies with ice cream, like fresh out of the oven.
Come on.
Can't get better than
You know
that.
what's the best though? You know what we should get today?
What?
We should get Pazookies.
I don't know if I'd go for, if I'd say that's the best.
We need some Pazookies. It's always such a treat to get a Pazookie. That's why I love BJ's.
If you say so.
The food is okay. I mean, it's pretty good at BJ's. It's not super expensive, but the Pazookie, when you add that on, you just feel like something special is happening.
I'm just not a dessert person. Like the brownies are the extent of my desserts, and like ice cream occasionally.
Have you ever had a Pazookie?
I don't know if I have.
No, that's why. This is why you're not a dessert person. Your entire outlook
that will
would change.
be my start.
Yeah, then you'd have a Pazookie, and then nothing else would feel. Cake
Nothing's
would seem
good
even
enough.
worse. Cake would seem even worse. You know, it is RadioU's birthday weekend. We may not have a Pazookie, but we do want some birthday wishes from you. You can send them into 8772-RadioU or hop on our socials too, at RadioU Official, and give us, don't just say happy birthday. Share some favorite RadioU memories,
Yeah.
Pretend we died.
Give us a eulogy.
Yeah, like what if this one is one of those living funeral things? To make it like that. I think that's what RadioU needs today.
Or it just literally could be a birthday celebration. People
Sure.
say good stuff about the birthday person, right?
Yeah, like one of those birthdays where like the person's really old. And so like
Stop with the death jokes.
No, I didn't. I said really old. Where the person's really old. And so like, because if you or I had a birthday party, we would just have a Pazookie or brownies and people would give us gifts and that'd be it. But when it's an old person turning like 80, then like a whole gathering because it's generations of generations.
Yes.
And they like pass the mic. There's like a microphone for some reason. They pass it around the room and people say nice things about them.
Yeah. It's at the rec center, not at anyone's house.
It's at the rec center. Let's do that on the RadioU socials or at 8772-RadioU. But RadioU is alive and well.
We're not dead.
Happy birthday. Just want to let you know about a nice new feature that's coming to TikTok. They are going to start showing Amber Alerts for your area actually in your For You feed. So, I mean, for some people, if you have your phone out, you might be looking at TikTok and it will show you an Amber Alert anyways, but not in TikTok.
Yeah.
And then I think for most people, they disable those because it like will start blaring at you in the middle of the night. And then you like wake up in a panic because it makes a loud noise. And then it's an Amber Alert, which is important. But do you need to be woken up for that?
I mean, probably not, but I don't have them disabled.
You don't have them disabled?
No.
Does it make a noise?
It does.
Yeah. Does it ever wake you up? I mean, it only happens every so often.
It has never happened overnight.
Maybe, I wonder if you have because like other alerts, if you have do not disturb, but then if it's like an emergency, then it will still power through that. So I don't know.
I've been on my way to work here before and it's gone off.
So if you had a normal job, it would have woken you up.
Yeah. If I wasn't waking up, at 4 a.m., then I probably would have been awoken at like 5 something or whatever.
Yeah. I do like how they are operating this because it will actually show, if they can, a photo of the child, which I think is helpful.
Super helpful because your phone does not show you that. It gives
when you
some
just
basics.
get the text alert.
Yeah. Gives you some basics, but doesn't show you a picture.
What do you do when you get an Amber Alert?
I gotta be honest, I do actually try to kind of retain that information.
Yeah.
And even when I'm driving on the road and there'll be an alert of a missing person.
Yeah.
And it'll show the car, and maybe if they have a license plate number, it'll show that too. I try and commit that to memory as best I can. I'm one of those weirdos that's like, if I see it, I want to be able to know.
I know. I'm the same way. Like, I want, like, you swipe it away after you read it, but you're also like, but what if I see? You're
exactly.
Like, I want to be a hero, you know? I mean, no, it's like you want to help.
I want to be informed to know if I were to see something, you know, and sometimes these cars that people are kidnapping people in, I'm like, come on.
That would stick out.
It's a green Honda. What are you doing?
Well, that's the other thing I was thinking is, do you ever, like, what would you do if there was an Amber Alert for your own car?
Oh,
like
I've actually thought about that before.
I know, like what if?
Be like, it's not me, guys.
A red Dodge is. We're looking for a red 2015 Dodge. Then would you start to like freak out a little bit? Not that somebody stole your car, and obviously you didn't do anything wrong, but just like, what if somebody reports you because that's what you drive?
Right.
There's only more than one red Dodge in the world.
Yeah, I actually have thought about that before. I'd be like, what would I do if an Amber Alert came up and it's my car and somebody's like pointing over at me or whatever? And be like, it's not me. I know what
it's
you're
just going to be a hassle. Like, you're going to get off because nothing happened, but it's just, what if you get hassled for it?
Yeah.
I don't want to be hassled.
I don't know, but I do have
But better safe than sorry.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. But I do have a pretty common car, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, it's pretty generic. I was thinking about that too because I've gotten Amber Alerts with cars that are like very similar to my neighbors. Oh. And I'm like, but I'm pretty sure it's not them. But then it's like also like, but you
never
can't be too
know.
safe. Can't be too safe. So I don't know. I've never called in a tip on an Amber Alert.
I've never called in a tip on an Amber Alert. I've called the police a few times for different things that have been suspicious, obviously, but never prompted by an Amber Alert.
I don't think I've ever called the police.
Really?
In my life, yeah.
What?
I don't think so.
Ever?
No.
Oh my goodness. I've called them so many times. I used to live in an apartment that had some issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had cars broken into twice, but once it was at a business, and so like somebody from the business called the police, and the other time it was like, well, they just broke the window and nothing happened, so the police don't care. They wouldn't care anyways.
Yeah.
The people were gone. It happened overnight, blah, blah, blah. So,
right.
But anyways, now hopefully this will be the TikTok showing Amber Alerts. It increases the chances of a positive outcome.
Until you just swipe past it.
Yeah. Just try to help. Do what you can.
Yeah, try to commit it to memory.
We're one day in. How's your bracket looking, Allie?
Not great. For the RadioU, brackets that we did it for our group for Music Madness. Not doing great with that one. Only got 110 points for my bracket, 49.1%.
Ooh, you're below the halfway mark. That's
pretty bad.
Doesn't feel great.
I do have a bracket that's not in that group though. That's doing pretty good. It is just 20 points below the perfect bracket, and it's at a 92.7%.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you're doing better than the Rizzler.
The Rizzler.
Yeah, you are ahead of the Rizzler.
Okay.
He had Yale going to the Final Four.
Oh, no.
So I know. Yeah, that's going to be tough for him. He also has Norfolk State getting to the Sweet 16. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
I think they play today. But yeah, I saw that he was off to a perfect start for a while, as many of us were. If you picked Creighton, the day started very well for you.
Yes.
You were really feeling hot until McNeese State came around.
Yeah.
That was my one big faltering moment yesterday, was that McNeese State beat Clemson.
It's a classic 12 beating the 5
I know.
every time it
And
happens.
I think a lot of people guessed wrong on that. I feel like that wasn't the trendy one.
Yeah.
You know, because some people had San Diego beating Michigan, which did not pan out. That was a close call last night.
I didn't do any of that.
And what are the other 12-5s? Liberty against Oregon.
I picked Liberty in one of my brackets.
And I forget the other one. But
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I was thinking Liberty was going to be the 12. Now they're not going to beat Oregon. It's just McNeese now.
Yeah. McNeese is the one. I had Clemson in the Sweet 16. But other than that, I'm still looking good. I'm in 5th place in our RadioU group.
Nice.
So I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My brother is ahead of me. And you can follow along. I don't know if you can still join. Like, if you obviously you can't fill out brackets now.
No.
But if you filled out brackets prior, you might still be able to join the RadioU group. I don't know, but you can obviously at least follow along and compare, even if you can't actually join. So you can see how the rest of us RadioU DJs do and all the RadioU fans that did get in on that group. The links are on the RadioU socials, where you could also leave us some happy birthday messages since it's our birthday weekend.
Yeah, do that.
We're the kind of station that gets a whole birthday weekend. Some people have a birthday day. Some people have a birthday week. That's too much. We just have a weekend.
We're in the middle. We're in middle ground here, RadioU.
Don't want to overdo it, but you can leave some birthday wishes and join in on our RadioU Music Madness, all on the RadioU socials at RadioU Official and on the RadioU Facebook page. One of the movies that's coming out not this weekend, but in a couple weeks is going to be really huge, is Minecraft. The Minecraft movie, and the Minecraft movie collaborating with McDonald's. People are excited about this online. I've seen a lot of support.
Okay.
For the Minecraft McDonald's collab. Now, this doesn't drop until April 1st, which is like right before the movie comes out. But they are doing like an adult Happy Meal with Minecraft toys involved.
Oh.
So check this out. You get the choice of either 10 McNuggets or a Big Mac, plus a medium fry and a medium drink. And if you get the nuggets, you also get a special new sauce that they've created called, that's based off of it's the Nether, right?
Yeah.
The Nether.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Nether
have not
sauce.
played a lot of Minecraft.
Me neither, but they say it in the trailer, so I think it's Nether. So that's the food, the special brand new sauce, but they also have 6 collectible figurines that you can get as well. And they're like some of the McDonald's characters, but they're Minecraft style. So there's like a Grimace egg, birdie wings. There's a soda. They say it's a soda potion, a Big Mac crystal, a fry helmet, and then a zombie hamburger, which that's hilarious.
That is so funny.
And then I guess they also come with a collectible card as well with each meal. So that's what you get if you're a grown up. But there's also like a kid's version, because that makes sense. Minecraft really for kids more than adults. But adults were excited about this yesterday when it was announced.
Right. I think it's great that they're doing it for adults and kids, because us adults like fun stuff too.
Yeah.
And I know plenty of people like, adults that love gaming, love collectibles, all that type of stuff. So I feel like this fits the niche of Minecraft very well.
Yeah. And like it actually looks like they put some effort into this collaboration.
Absolutely.
I was watching a video recently about like old Happy Meal toys, and it was like, people unboxing them or whatever, and it's like, oh, they used to like try so much harder than they do now.
Right. Yes.
But these actually look like they put some thought into it to try to make them impressive and like actually worth getting. And like when they've done adult Happy Meals in the past, they've only done it a few times, but they've always been like surprisingly expensive. And so at least you're getting your money's worth, I guess, out of this.
Yeah, how much do you think this would be?
I'm guessing like $12.
Oh.
Which is a lot for a sandwich, a medium fry, and a drink.
Yeah, and a medium drink. You're not even getting the large.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so annoying.
You have to pay extra to get a large drink to upsize it.
Well,
so you're really paying for that zombie hamburger.
Yeah, you're paying for the figurine for sure. But I think this is pretty neat. I think we're gonna have to try and get some figurines ourselves.
You think so?
For a food fight.
What are we gonna do with them?
We'll put them on our desk.
Oh, I thought we were gonna play with them.
No, why would we do that?
Because they're toys.
Well, we're adults, Hudson.
I don't like Minecraft though.
Yeah, but if you're an adult getting a figurine, you're not going to go play with them. You're going to put them up on a shelf.
I'm gonna give it a little voice, and I'm doing a character with it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm not
gonna have
doing
the zombie
that.
hamburglar, and he's gonna be terrorizing.
I don't really have collectible toys or anything like that, but I assumed you just put them on a shelf.
You can do that, but then they just collect dust. You got to play with them. So if you're a member of the Los Angeles Angels, you wouldn't be able to text 8772 Radio U while you're at the facility anyways, because they've instituted a new policy. Ron Washington, the manager of the team, he's taken a team all the way to the World Series before.
Yeah.
I don't think he's won, but he's gotten to the World Series. Has enforced a rule, instituted a rule for the Los Angeles Angels prohibiting their players from using cell phones at their lockers. And at least one veteran of the team, baseball superstar Mike Trout, has been vocal about enforcing the rule, making sure guys are staying off of their phones.
Following this,
yeah. And he says it's going really well. What do you think of all this, Allie? A baseball team, did you even realize that they could have their most teams can just have their phones, I guess, anyways?
Well, I figured that in the locker room, yeah, you could have your personal belongings out so you could be on your phone if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. But I do kind of agree with this because I think, phones certainly pose a distraction to everyone. Mm-hmm. And so they can be a distraction for you getting in game day mood or mode or whatever. And also it can be, as Mike Trout points out, one of these quotes, it can be a big hindrance in that team bonding time. In the locker room, that's when you're bonding. That's when you're talking to one another. And if you have new players on the team, which happens at MLB every single year, sometimes multiple times in the year, you want to get to know these new players, these new guys on your squad. You want to grow that unified feeling as a team. And so I support this. And also, I think Ron Washington, it's not like he's saying the players can only, he's saying he has to do this too. Yeah. He says here that if he's on his phone, because apparently there's a fine for this if they're caught using it.
$500, I think.
Yeah, they're fined. And he's like, I want my players to fine me if I'm on my cell phone because I want to follow this rule too. It's not just for the players, it's for everybody.
Mike Trout says the guys are interacting more. I think the biggest thing we're working on this year, just building that family chemistry, getting everybody on board. You think about baseball, a lot of times, like in football, they talk about chemistry and whatever. Like you really have to believe in each other as a team and get along. And they're only together, they're not together anywhere near as much as baseball.
No.
Baseball season is so long. You're with each other every day playing a game. And so, I was thinking the counterpoint would be you look at all these college basketball teams right now. I'm sure they're allowed to have their phones in most cases in the locker room. And they look like they're getting along really well, they have a lot of chemistry. Yeah. But that's college.
Yeah,
baseball,
it's different.
They've been doing this for years. You're there day in and day out. It's a long season. It's a job.
Yeah.
And so, it would be easy to treat it like just another job after you've been, get desensitized to it and not really care. They're just your coworkers, whatever.
Right.
But I think it would be helpful to the team to keep phones away. I do think if it is funny to think about if you did this at any other job, where it hadn't been the rule before.
Yeah.
Is it a good idea? Probably. If we banned phones here at Radio U, I think it would probably be a good idea.
I mean, sure.
But also, especially the bigger the company, the more you'd have people that even if they wouldn't say it out loud, they'd be like, really? Mike's going around enforcing this thing? Why don't you take a break, you know?
What's up with this Mike guy?
It's 2025. Let's just be on it's not hurting anything. Let me have my phone. Yeah.
I mean, again, they pose a distraction no matter where you are, whether you're on a baseball team or in a cubicle, whatever. But, I think in this scenario, it really is beneficial for them not to have it in the locker room because that is the time when you're supposed to be talking and bonding. When you're working in a cubicle, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I think this is going to work out well for them.
I hope so.
For now, anyways.
I want Mike Trout in the playoffs.
You do?
I do. I've wanted that for a long time.
I don't think that this is going to change that fortune, though.
Probably,
how many wins does this add to their season?
Probably not a lot, but team chemistry is a big thing.
Yeah.
And if you start believing in your squad and you have a group of guys that are just out there having fun, baseball's about fun.
Yeah.
And when you see teams that play with that kind of mentality, sometimes it does get them into the playoffs.
It might work. But, I mean, staying off his phone ain't going to keep Mike Trout healthy.
Good
And they
point.
don't got a lot of other great players.
Well, Hudson, I want your thoughts on this.
Okay.
So some employees recently were surveyed on this question of if they believed that pretty privilege got them more money as an employee. So it says employees who are easy on the eyes earn $20,000 more.
What?
Than their less attractive colleagues, according to this new study.
So they proven that the more beautiful you are, the more money you make.
I don't know.
Even if you do the exact same job.
Right. Yeah, because that is exactly what they say. It's like, even though they're in the same role.
Yeah.
But
because I definitely think this is true. If you're more attractive, you are afforded more opportunities to go forward in certain fields. And I don't just mean modeling.
Yeah.
I mean,
in life.
You're going to be thought of better in the interview for whatever reason. The reason is you're more attractive, even if you said all the same things somebody else did.
Yeah.
And also, I know this is true from the past, when you are more attractive, that boosts your confidence. And confidence is so huge that is also a reason why, it's not just because you're attractive, people like you. It's because you're confident because you're attractive.
Yep.
People like you.
Exactly. That's the key to this survey. So they say, the survey researchers say, we asked respondents to rate how conventionally attractive they are and compared this to how successful they are to find out how far looks or body confidence really does impact your career. Those who rated themselves as extremely attractive earn on average $19,945 more.
Such a huge gap.
Yep. Than those who rated themselves as unattractive. And analysts also said when they surveyed the employed Americans, men and women, that on average, the majority of workers rated their look 7.7 on a scale from 1 to 10. So a lot of people are usually more, on the higher side when they're rating themselves, which is good.
Yeah.
But definitely the confidence part of this is key, because even if they aren't attractive, just the fact that they're confident enough to believe that's the key.
This is what I'm seeing. So this is based off of how attractive people rate themselves.
Yes, how much you think you are.
So we don't know how attractive they actually are if they were judged objectively by random people.
Right.
So, I mean, this proves even more that it's not how beautiful you are, it's how confident you are.
Exactly. Especially when you're going into a job interview, you are attempting to sell yourself to that company, to those hiring managers. You're going to try and make yourself look the best that you can. You want to be the best candidate that they interview. And so when you have that confidence about you, that is an attractive quality in and of itself as a potential employer is looking at you like, oh, this is a confident person. They know what they're talking about. They are, not nervous. They're not anxious. Not too long ago, we talked about the water thing where it's like you're in a job interview.
Yeah.
How many times are you drinking water? Sometimes that keys in hiring managers to how nervous you are. So when you come across as more confident in a hiring setting, a job setting, it can really help you.
So the key to making more money is convincing yourself that you're attractive.
Yeah.
Convince yourself that you're a perfect 10 and you will make more money. This is what this says. I think that's the takeaway.
I saw something not too long ago, a video on Facebook or something, and it was like this girl saying, I struggled with body confidence when I was younger, but one thing that helped me get over that was I just told myself I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. And I just told myself that over and over and over again until I gained confidence and started to believe it. And she's like, I know that technically I'm not the most beautiful woman in the world, but it doesn't matter because I'm happy in a relationship that I have. He views me as beautiful, whatever. And so it's like that. Sometimes you have to do that little mind trick, to gain that confidence.
It's not a lie if you believe it, right? And you can believe something even if you know it's not true.
Yeah, you can.
So convince yourself. Yet again, the best thing you can do, evidently, is just convince yourself you're attractive.
Yep.
And think and look at the doors that you will open for yourself by doing that.
Yes.
According to this study, anyways. Fired or hired here on RadioU Mornings. You can send us your workplace situation you need help with. mornings@radiou.com or 8772-RADIO-U. This one is a fired or hired, love them or leave them.
Oh.
Not because it's a romantic situation, but because it's love your job or leave your job.
Ah.
Here's what we have. I work for a small business and we have a small crew. About 9 months ago, I took on a lead position. The first 3 months were okay, but then soon after, I kept getting more and more responsibilities that were not a part of my new job description. On top of that, I've been doing most, if not all, of the manager's duties. I do not get manager pay, but I have all of the responsibilities. I absolutely love my job, but it's getting to the point that I don't love it as much anymore. I also have been waiting around 6 or 7 months for my annual review and raise. At this point in my life, I don't know if I should stay or if I should leave. We also add to this really quick that I have discussed my raise and review. I think this is important to point out. I'm glad she added this on. I've discussed my raise and review, and I keep getting the same runaround of we're trying to iron out all of the details for 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, so they're giving you the whole like, we're trying to iron it out, but it's like they actually don't want
We'll get to it. We're busy.
Yeah,
but we do want to review you and give you that raise.
Sure.
One day. 8772-RADIO-U. This is a love your job or leave your job situation in this fired or hired. So we need some advice. What do? You've been given more responsibilities than you're getting paid for and that are in your job description, and they are kicking the can down the road for your review that you've been waiting on that should come with a raise.
Yeah.
What do we do here?
It's a tough one.
This is tough. 8772-RADIO-U. Let us know your thoughts and advice for this fired or hired situation. I'll tell you, Andrea says this one's simple at 8772-RADIO-U. Andrea says, easy. They've got 2 weeks to fix it, or you give your 2 weeks. So 4 weeks total.
Yeah.
An ultimatum from Andrea.
Yeah. I think also a part of it is, she said that this is a small business, it's a small crew. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, is there no one that does HR at the small business? Because that's what I would go to first, is somebody that has to handle HR. Because there's business practices that you have to follow. And annual review is one of them. And if they keep pushing it off, it's not okay.
Yeah, that is it feels like a bad sign.
Yeah.
But yeah, small businesses, can be run very differently, I think. Michael did get in at 8772-RADIO-U and simply said, find a better employer to work for. We also heard from Mia, who says, if they wanted to pay you like a manager, they would have done it by now. You love the job, but do they love you back?
Oh.
Sounds like she's getting out of there.
Yeah.
I actually think this one is pretty simple too, but I don't know if you need to have an ultimatum right away, because I'm never a fan of, and this depends on your situation. We don't know the rest of, like, how old are you? Do you have kids? Do you have like another income? Like
exactly. You never want to present an ultimatum if you don't have another option.
Yeah. But there's absolutely no reason why, if you've already spoken up and said, hey, I'm doing more work than you're paying me for. You're supposed to give me a review, which should come with a raise. And we're not getting to that. So you've already brought that to attention. So there's no reason why you can't start looking for other jobs.
Yes.
The warning to that is, of course, the grass is always greener, but at least you can find out. And then maybe you do see a job that pops up that you want to pursue. And then you have the actual ultimatum on the table where it's like, I have this other opportunity and they are going to pay me more or whatever.
Yep. Use it as leverage.
Yeah, use it as leverage. The other caveat I would say is, sometimes looking for another job is a full-time job itself.
Yeah.
And so that I hate that sucks too, where it's like, well, you have to keep working this job.
Yeah.
And you need to spend all the rest of your time looking for another job.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. It's a tough one, but I think if you can try and gain some of that leverage, maybe even not necessarily saying, hey, I have this other opportunity, but be like, make it clear to them, hey, if my review doesn't happen, let's say within the next month, I'm going to start looking for other jobs.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the leverage you give them, is like, it's not right now, but it's coming down the line. You need to know that my 2 weeks will be coming at some point.
Make it a little more clear. Maybe in the past you've been like, hey, when's my review coming? And now go, yeah, I need my review because I'm looking for other stuff.
Yeah, like I will leave if I don't get a review.
Yeah, I hope this was helpful.
I hope so too, and I hope it works out. I hope it's a love 'em, because as she said, she loves this job.
Yeah, and when you work at a small business too, it feels like family.
Exactly, but you do need to be compensated correctly, and you also need a job that is going to follow the right, protocol for sure. So if they're not doing that, then it might be a leave 'em. Hudson, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What would you say your Jericho is?
My Jericho. Okay, so let me think. So something that's tormenting me maybe a bit.
Maybe something
it won't go away.
Something that won't go away, or maybe something that is it's a presence in your life. You're like, this thing is really big, and I feel like I can't get through it. And I'm maybe not believing that it will go away.
It's personal.
It's personal. You
Yeah,
can't share it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything that instantly comes to mind.
Yeah,
but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we all have those, right? We have that Jericho. And if you don't know the story of Jericho, it's from the Old Testament, the Bible. And it's a story where the Israelites, they're moving into the promised land, and they're promised this land. And God tells them, they come across this big fortress, this big city named Jericho. And it's got these thick walls and this big, army and all of these, things that you would think it'd be impossible for them to get through. And what does God tell them to do? Not to attack, not to try and break the walls down or try and get inside and do anything like that. No, he tells them to march around the city. And I have to imagine, I've always been fascinated by that story. There have to be so many people that were marching around that city being like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
This is such a waste of time. This is such a stupid idea. Why aren't we preparing for battle?
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're wasting time. And if
I would have embraced that though.
You would have, yeah.
Because I love to walk. And I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I would have been at the front of the line being like, all right, guys, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, the story of Jericho is that the walls do end up falling.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know, that song that we just played, Loop Cycle by the Grey Havens, it talks about that story of Jericho.
Right.
Because it uses it as a metaphor, because we all have a Jericho in our lives. We're all walking around something, maybe some type of anxiety or some type of wall in our own lives that we're afraid of, that we kind of don't believe God can bring down in our lives. We're maybe disbelieving what he's saying for us, telling us to do. He's telling us to walk around the walls, walk around the city. I'm going to bring it down for you.
Yeah.
And we're like, are you really? I love the line where he, in the Grey Havens song, where it's like, this is what you're hearing as you're walking around the city with that doubt in your mind.
Yep.
You're a failure. You're a waste of time. You've got nothing to say and you're so far behind. Everyone found a place and they're flourishing. So you're comparing yourself to everybody else.
Yes, the thief of joy.
Yep. And you're barely alive. And yet the end of the song goes, loop cycle, here we go, anxious thoughts to the ground, loop cycle, here we go, see the walls coming down.
So triumphant.
Yes. And that's, referring to that Jericho metaphor. But that's the beauty of a relationship with God is like sometimes you're like, wait, is this really how this thing is going to be brought down? This battle is going to be won in my life with this thing I'm struggling with? I relate a lot to those words that Loop Cycle, has in this song, the Grey Havens sing of like, you're a waste of time, you're a failure, you got nothing good to say. I've thought those things so many times in my life, and God is saying that's not true at all. And you can march around these walls and have confidence that I'm going to bring this down for you.
Yeah, I love that. And it's true that, you get to these, I just think it's so true for me that there's our plan of doing things and there's like the destination you want to get to and the way you want to get there. But we often ignore that God has a we may very well have the same destination,
right,
but has an entirely different way of getting there that's actually better, that never crosses our mind.
Yeah, never crosses our mind. And that Jericho story, I mean, it just gets me, because I'm like, I'm sure there were so many people marching around that city being like, this is so stupid.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
It's a waste of time.
Exactly. But God the whole time is like, just you wait. Just you wait. These walls are coming down.
Well, it's a lesson that all of us can learn, and it's something that you can find out more about if you want to, start trying to take those anxious thoughts or whatever it is for you, whatever your Jericho is, take it down, start talking to God, let Jesus know about it, and let him take control. Get your popcorn ready. It's our Friday tradition, the weekend watch list, letting you know which movies are new that you could be watching in theaters and at home this weekend. A big weekend for new movies. So many that we're just not going to be able to give all of them their due time.
Yeah.
But we'll do what we can. The biggest new movie in theaters this weekend is Snow White, a.k.a. Disney's Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Is it Gadot or Godot? I've heard it both ways.
I've heard it more as Gadot, so let's go with that.
All right, Gadot. But let's not get sidetracked. I'm not going to give you the plot of Snow White.
We should all know
understand it. Yeah, it's the classic Disney movie. Even this one's live action. It has horrifying CGI dwarves and some different songs. It has a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Aye.
And Corey Coleman of Double Toasted says, Rachel Zegler is great as Snow White, but the movie is just another Disney studio product with a slap together ending. While I appreciate the 2025 film expanding on the original animated film, I think it suffers from doing too much.
Oh, yeah.
I have absolutely zero interest in Disney's Snow White.
Yeah, same.
I think people know how we feel about the live action remakes at this point.
Yeah, I'm not invested at all.
Okay. So that's in theaters. Or you could watch a movie. We have talked about this as on the show in the past as well. The Alto Knights, starring Robert De Niro. In the 1950s, notorious New York crime bosses Frank Costello and Vito Genovese vie for control of the city streets. Once the best of friends, petty jealousies and a series of betrayals place them on a deadly collision course that reshapes organized crime forever. The Alto Knights is now in theaters. It has a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Kyle Smith of the Wall Street Journal, one of my favorite critics, says Mr. Pileggi, who co-wrote Goodfellas and Casino, obviously wrote this movie as well, knows how to tell a thrilling crime story, but this script is merely a collection of gangster anecdotes and cliches.
Aww.
Unfortunate.
It's sad because this is the one with Robert De Niro playing two characters.
Yeah,
so I was interested in watching this.
Maybe worth watching just to see that,
Right.
But the movie as a whole might not be what we're hoping. But so adjust your expectations accordingly.
Yes.
Also new in theaters this weekend is a movie called Locked, starring Bill Skarsgård looking exactly like Zonti, at least in this photo I'm looking at. When Eddie, I believe that'd be Bill Skarsgård, breaks into a luxury SUV, he steps into a deadly trap set by a self-proclaimed vigilante who delivers his own brand of twisted justice.
Oh.
Trapped inside the car, Eddie soon discovers escape is an illusion and survival is a nightmare. Locked is now in theaters. It has a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I did see the trailer for this. At first, I was like, wait, what movie?
Yeah.
But yes.
I have no idea what this is.
The trailer was very interesting. I was like, I don't know how they could make a whole movie out of this, but it's intriguing. It also has Anthony Hopkins in it.
Ooh, he's always good.
Yep.
Greg Newson of Slant Magazine says, throughout, the filmmaker's sympathies are lost in a confusing haze of cynicism.
Oh.
Also new this week, a movie called Odessa starring Sadie Sink is on Hulu. That's a musical. A movie called The Outrun starring Saoirse Ronan is now on Netflix. And a new movie called Tyler Perry's Duplicity, the latest Tyler Perry flick, is on Prime Video. And these are not new movies as far as new releasing to streaming, but they are now on streaming. And that's Den of Thieves 2 and Wicked. Den of Thieves is on Netflix. Wicked is on Peacock.
I did see that was happening with Wicked.
Yeah. So if you haven't gotten to that by now, now's your chance.
Yeah.
What will I watch none of these movies this weekend. I'm pretty confident of that.
Yeah, pretty confident in that as well. I'm still trying to pick a time to go see the new Black Bag movie.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's higher on my list as well.
Yeah, I think that'll be the next film I try and go see in theaters.
This week's list of movies is kind of like a water all around, but not a drop to drink situation, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like a million movies, none all that exciting.
No. Hudson baseball is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Less than a week away from opening day. I am so
Thursday,
excited.
Right? Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday.
Yes.
I cannot wait. We just had our MLB draft for our fantasy league that we're doing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But I thought this story was hilarious coming out of spring training, and it has to do with your Boston Red Sox.
Yes.
So there's always rookie hazing that you hear about for the baseball teams in Major League Baseball. And this story is no exception. So I'm sure you know Roman Anthony, one of the premier rookies on the Boston Red Sox this year. He recently made the mistake about talking with Walker Buehler, who's a pitcher now for the Red Sox.
New acquisition.
Yeah, great pitcher. Used to be on the Dodgers. He was talking with him at spring training about coffee. Well, this innocent conversation turned into a little bit of a problem, a nightmare, if you will.
Okay.
For Roman Anthony and also for rookie shortstop Marcelo Mayer. The next day, they had to take, buy, and deliver 76 different orders of coffee for the entire Red Sox organization.
Oh, no. Or what?
I don't know what the or what was, but I mean...
or you're benched.
Exactly.
You're playing in AAA Mankato, Minnesota.
Yes. You want to get on the good side of the veterans.
Yeah.
So, and even though Walker Buehler is new to the Red Sox, he's still been in the league for a longer time than they have. So, yeah, he made them do this. At first, Roman Anthony thought it was a joke, but then he handed him a list, and there were already 40 coffee orders on it, and Walker told him, you got to get everybody's coffee order.
Oh, no.
And they said
Say a prayer for that coffee shop that had to deal with that.
Exactly. He said, making matters worse, everyone had their own twist on how they wanted their coffee. It wasn't just black. It was, they had their special coffee order. So apparently the two rookies, Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer decided, you know what, we've got these 76 orders. Let's go ahead and go to Starbucks tonight, the day before we're supposed to get them, and just give them a heads up.
Dang. That is really thoughtful.
That was, right?
You think about how old is Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer?
They've got to be in early 20s. Yeah.
How many early 20s guys are that thoughtful that are like, especially if you're a baseball player, so you probably haven't worked in food service there, and they had the forethought to go, let's give Starbucks a heads up so they don't get absolutely slammed next morning with all these coffee orders.
Well, and I also think they didn't want to get super delayed either.
That's true. Yeah, 76 orders, if they're all custom and it's not just brewed coffee, would take forever.
Would take a long time, yeah. So he said that they showed up to the Starbucks the night before, and they were like, you better bring your A squad tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. because we're ordering 76 coffees.
Dang. I bet you they tipped well.
I hope so.
I'm assuming that like part of the hazing is these guys had to pay for all the coffee.
Maybe.
And that would add up. And when you're a rookie in baseball, like until you get that first contract or at least hit arbitration, they don't make much money either. So
I mean, they make more than we do, but they definitely don't make a lot.
It's really not that much. Yeah. So I think that would be tough. I wonder if they set up a Venmo group or something.
I hope so.
Started hitting up the rest of the team that's making millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. He said they did wake up at 4 a.m. And did order the coffees, and he said they did a very good job.
Nice. And that's why the Red Sox probably won that day. They're fueled by some delicious Starbucks. I love these guys, and I cannot wait. I don't know if they're both going to make the team to start the season, but they both have bright futures, and the Red Sox have a bright future, and I cannot wait to start cheering for them in a couple days.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great season.
Wait, I need to add this.
Okay.
It does say later on here in this article about the paying thing.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently,
we need an answer.
Roman Anthony was paying for this on his own card, and after 20 orders, because they had to do each order individually, so they all had individual names on the coffee cups.
Okay.
After 20 orders, his credit card declined because it thought it was fraud.
Oh, yeah.
And so then Marcelo Mayer had to pay for the rest.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
It was $600.
Oh, I feel bad for these guys. I'm glad that I've never been hazed like this. Allie, you're still pretty new here. You want to take everybody's coffee order today?
I don't think so.
It'd be pretty easy. It would just be me.
Even that's
Pretty
true.
Yeah. Man, so much going on. We've got the spring fundraiser kicking off on Wednesday. That's how you can help us stay on the air commercial free. Find out more. Donate early, RadioU.com. Also, it's Radio U's birthday weekend now, celebrating another year of Radio U. We'd love to hear from you. Some birthday wishes, some Radio U memories you want to share. You can post those up at Radio U Official on our Instagram or find us on Facebook. Now, Allie, do you think this is real? Do you think Conor McGregor, the notorious MMA fighter, is going to be running for president of Ireland? Because that is just what he claimed earlier this week.
I have no idea if I believe him or not, because I feel like all of the stuff he does almost is just like a publicity stunt at this point. You know, he's just trying to get clicks and views and get himself in a fight with Jake Paul.
It's like he doesn't even have a job anymore.
No.
Like he used to be a fighter. He doesn't fight.
He's not in the octagon, hasn't been for years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's just doing this stuff to just remain in the public eye.
Now, he literally tweeted out, this was yesterday. He said, Ireland, the choice is yours, and it is an easy one. Vote for me as your president, and we will save Ireland together. That was yesterday.
Save Ireland from what?
I'll tell you what he said earlier this week. I believe this was when he was at the White House. He says, our government has abandoned the voices of the people. What else did he say? Our money is being spent overseas on issues that have nothing to do with the Irish people. It's time that people in America are made aware of what's going on in Ireland.
Oh.
What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is a government with zero action and zero accountability.
Wow.
Now, Can we go back a second and say, I didn't even know Ireland had a president?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, do they not have a prime minister? But I guess they are kind of different than like the rest of Europe. Because of, just their history with England and all of that.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also like Ireland and Northern Ireland. So those are two different things.
Yep.
So, I didn't know this stuff was going on in Ireland. I don't know if I believe Conor McGregor as like the arbiter of all of this information.
I don't know if I believe him on anything, let alone politics.
Exactly. But I mean, if it truly is like what he's describing, then I mean, maybe they do need to change things up. I don't know if Conor McGregor is the answer, though.
Maybe they do, but is there an appetite for it? We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what his like popularity or like
is he super popular
rating
over there?
is in Ireland? I don't know. They might like actually hate him because they think he gives Ireland a bad name. I don't know.
Right.
I will say that at least according to Professor of Political Science at Trinity College, Gail McElroy, she says that there's two hurdles for Conor McGregor if he actually is running. First, he has to get nominated, and then he has to win a majority of the vote. She says both of those hurdles are almost insurmountable for Conor McGregor.
So, like,
I think people said that about certain presidents we've had here, too. So, who knows? Who knows?
So, he has to get nominated by, like, a party in Ireland.
So.
And
it sounds very similar to us, I guess.
Win the popular vote. It sounds like they don't have, electoral college or whatever. Yeah. But, interesting. I don't think I believe him that he's actually trying to do this. Maybe he is truly invested in Irish politics, but we'll see if he ends up trying to run for president.
If I have a vote, I vote for him to fight again.
Yes. Get back to the octagon.
If whatever happens in Ireland happens in Ireland, I guess that really doesn't affect me. So if he wants to be president too, that's his choice. But I just want to see him fight.
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
Yeah. And if he has another job as important as president, he's not fighting.
No, definitely not. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.